Theresa May's stunning defeat, the big headline today on the front pages, both internationally and in the UK. We've got Deepti Laurent with us on the set to take a closer look at all of that. Deepti, what have you been seeing?
Well, a lot of doom and gloom in the papers today, Jeannie. Let's start with The Sun saying that her deal is as dead as a dodo. It's BREXTINCT, the tabloid says on its front page. Also very doom and gloom, the Daily Mirror. No deal, no hope, no clue, no confidence, it says, summing up a pretty bleak future that lays ahead for Brexit. For the Daily Express, it's dismay. The paper does hail the Prime Minister's valiant efforts in fighting for a deal and now is urging MPs to back her in finding a deal that will satisfy Brexit voters. Of course, this vote inspiring a lot of cartoonists today as well, Jeannie. Cartoonist Steve Bell sees Theresa May as being in free fall. She's drowning headfirst in the River Thames, while Peter Brooks says the British Prime Minister finding herself in uncharted waters, literally swirling down the drain of this sink.
What about outside the UK, in Europe, for example?
Not as evocative, but still their message is very clear. Der Tagesspiegel, one of the German dailies, evokes Britain's Brexit chaos. Indeed, things are chaotic. She's facing a no-confidence vote, while her rival, Jeremy Corbyn, likely doesn't have enough votes to topple her. All of this happening 2 months before they're meant to leave the EU. It's kind of back to square one. For the Italian daily La Repubblica, Theresa May and Brexit are on the edge of an abyss. While ABC, that's a conservative Spanish daily, calls it the prisoners of Brexit, saying that the Parliament has felled May's plan, leaving a divided country and a Prime Minister with almost no options or time to achieve anything. Finally, you have a Portuguese daily looking at how Portugal and Europe widely are preparing for, quote, disaster.
To Africa now, where you found reactions from papers in the Ivory Coast to the acquittal of former President Laurent Gbagbo at the International Criminal Court.
Yeah, that's right, Jeannie. As prosecutors will appeal that ruling this Wednesday, Laurent Gbagbo, the former Ivorian leader, has been acquitted of crimes against humanity. Victory, Le Temps, that's an Ivorian paper, says triumphantly on its front page, evoking tears of joy in the country after that ruling and gleefully savoring this victory against the international community. It's quite the opposite from another daily called Le Patriote. They call it a Black Tuesday for the 3,000 victims in the country. The paper defiant that it's not over yet.
Much is being said about how this decision reflects on the International Criminal Court's ability to actually prosecute leaders like Gbagbo.
Well, some actually see it as the final nail in the coffin of the ICC's reputation. This decision will symbolically shake the foundations of the court. That's what this Ivorian paper, Matin, says. This decision is really important because it comes as there's a whole host of other investigations to look into. You have Venezuela, Ukraine, the Philippines, Burma over its persecution of the Rohingyas. A Ghanaian paper, Jelly, has interviewed an analyst who says the ICC actually needs to modify its way of working so that it can instill fear into the people who've committed crimes and restore its credibility as a court that's actually able to pursue crimes against humanity.
Just to wrap up now, Deepti, a look at a scandal in the usually genteel sport of pétanque that's tarnishing its reputation.
That's right. For those of you who are unfamiliar with the sport, it's a little bit like lawn bowls, throwing small metallic balls at a target, trying to get as close as possible. A sport that originated in southern France, but is popular all over the world. Now, 2 leading Dutch pétanque players, professional players, have accused their Belgian counterparts of doping. Edward Vinker accuses the Belgians of doing coke during games, saying once his team was leading and then they went to the bathroom and came back with, quote, huge eyes and somehow managed to play really well afterwards. Flemish champion bowler Stefan Kous denied that the sport is rife with drug users, but he admits that players might have the occasional beer or occasional joint during matches. He says, however, doping is becoming a problem in the sport. Probably not a good thing, as pétanque wants to become an Olympic sport one day.
Interesting. Deepti, thank you for that. Deepti Laurent with that look at the press review. Thanks to her. Thanks to you for watching. Don't forget, you can get a closer look at all of these stories, of course, on our website. That address is france24.com.